and all of you do. I'm not prejudiced. Okay. Hamburger patty with cheese on it. And salt. Gotta have a lot of salt. Let me do this. Okay, live chat. We're going in. 4 minutes. I'm back to drinking just coffee, by the way. The mud water tastes good. I think some people would really enjoy it. I don't know if my mood was altered for the negative, in a negative way because of the mud water, or there was less. I don't know what the combination was, but or it's because I was, getting back on food plan. But I was cranky and depressed and more emotional. Of course, I got all these other things going on, that made me like that too. Situational, with the loss of Dooley, but, changing my diet up, that's going to affect our hormones. Whenever you make a change, your hormones, they're affected, which affects your emotions. And so I went back to just coffee, and I'm going to try that probably for Good Morning, Roseanne. I'm going to try that for the rest of the month. I'm being careful because even my skinny, supposedly sugar-free coffee syrups, are supposed to be zero carbs. A lot of these things that are zero carbs, your body tastes sweet. I saw there was some studies, I forget what it's called, but if you taste something sweet, whether you swallow it or not, I think in this study they spit it out. But insulin spiked, even though it was sugar-free. So, it may be a taste thing too. So I'm being very careful on I'm trying to get lower and lower. I need to do measured amounts on my, sweet. And I haven't been putting the heavy cream in. I have been putting a half a scoop of the MCT powder and then pour in a little coffee and using the whirligig, the, stirrer thing, the electric thing, that what do you call that? It's escaped me. So 1 more minute, we're rolling. Doing that to get it all mixed up real good in the bottom of the cup, and then filling it the rest of the way with coffee. And then I was just doing a cap full of the skinny syrup, but I need to, keep bringing it down a little, because even that little capful tastes a little sweet to me. Good morning, Rhonda. Thank you. Yeah, it's life altering, pretty bad. Okay, not gonna do that today. I pray. When I pray in the mornings, I cry, because I thank God for the time I had with Dooley. Okay, here I go. Anyway, oh, there's a yarn bus next to me, a motorhome. Looks like they tow a car behind. It looks like a small SUV to me. That SUVs today don't look like SUVs to me. I grew up with, SUVs. Okay, time to roll. Okay, we're headed towards Patterson, California. I'm over here in this little, what is this place called? Boron? Is that what it's called? There'll be a sign up here. California. It's where the 395 and the 58 meet. I came up the 395 last night. I was so tired. Okay. Let's get out on the road. Everybody's good. Oh, I forgot to do a tug test. Got to do a tug test. Tug test every morning. Make sure that fifth wheel is connected. Okay. Hang on, Schneider. This old girl's pulling out. Hope he's not going too fast. Okay. There we go. So, Boron, is that the name of it? It's always a weird name to me. Okay. But it's here somewhere. There's cute little gift shops here, but I think they're closed at the moment. Let's sit back and relax. Couple things I want to mention. First of all, some of you know that I have a license plate number written on my windshield right here in the center. 319 KQV. Because for over a year now, a man has been missing, an elderly gentleman from Western Oregon. He's a former mayor of his little town, and he grew up, he spent his whole life in that area of Western Oregon in the Northwest. And Ralph Davis Brown, in fact, there's a Facebook group or page called Find Ralph Davis Brown. Well, I got a notification this morning saying that, Adventures with Purpose, those guys who do the underwater searches all over the country, they're from the Northwest too, but apparently he's been found underwater. Very sad. So, and that is supposed to go live at 9 a.m. Pacific, from what I understand. 9 a.m. Pacific, Adventures with Purpose, and so we'll get a little bit of detail about that. Very sad. Just, Okay, so I'm getting ready I'm going to turn you guys around. There we go. Okay. So yeah, Ralph Davis Brown apparently so at 9 a.m. I would like to do a Wanderlust raid over on Adventures with Purpose, if you guys don't mind. Yeah, pretty sad. Pretty sad. So, and the other thing is, there's a link in the description box. That first link is for Haas and Hannah over at Off Kilter Homestead. Now, I don't want to embarrass them by making a huge deal out of it, because they don't beg from other people. They're very appropriate kind of people, right? They're not beggars, and I don't want to embarrass them, but there is a link to their baby wish list. That's their baby registry, right? And I'm sorry my old girl isn't going as fast as you, Schneider, but you'll just have to get over it. Very heavy, like over 78,000 pounds total. So very heavy with this load. Going to be kind of slow going on some of the hills, that kind of thing. He's going to come flying around me after we get out onto the highway here. This is Highway 58, heads east and west across, just north of the very Southern California area. Comes out in Bakersfield. So in Bakersfield, we'll all be waving at the Yarn Hag Ryan, our beautiful Yarn Hag Ryan, as we go by. Then, we've got people that'll kind of be going past, like Sarah, as I go through the middle part of California. She'll be off, I believe, east of the I-5 pretty far. But I'll be waving at her. Yeah, this place is called Boron. Oh, so yesterday I guess I didn't plan well enough for my eating, but I don't want to say I'm proud of myself. What I want to say is I'm relieved that I got through it without going off plan. Hi, Sandra. So I cooked some pork belly in the morning. Hi, Paula. Oh, it's late there. Good morning, Stock Explorer. Good morning. So I was able to stay on plan even though I had a very long, I ended up parking with an hour left on my 70. I had trouble getting my axles to the legal weight by adjusting, the position of the axles on the trailer so it shifts weight. And I'm real borderline. But I think we'll be fine. But anyway, I had my pork bellies in the morning, and then, I probably had a big handful of pork rinds throughout the day, but then by the time I was done, I was so tired. I did have some pork belly thawed out a little bit, but they were in the fridge, so they weren't room temperature. I like cooking meat at room temperature. I like it to sit out for several hours before I cook it. Relaxes the meat, and sometimes if I'm putting a little seasoning on them, put it on after it's been out for at least an hour. So, but I was poorly prepared. So where I parked, I was just about a half a block away from a Burger King, and I've been watching this gal, I can't think of her name, who's doing the same eating plan I'm doing. She'll go just order like several burger patties from fast food, and she'll just munch on those. Well, I'm like, okay, and I saw a video where she did that at Burger King. Well, I like the flavor of their flame broiled. I love that flavor. So I went over there and got 6 of their large patties. Now I did have them put cheese on top. Got to be careful of processed cheese. You can't get, too crazy. If I was just eating because of taste, I would have had to put 2 slices of, cheese on there. But I kept it down to 1 each, and I ate a couple last night. David, I'm sorry, but I disagree. I'm sorry, I do disagree. I am not healthy unless I have reduced my carbs to almost 0. I don't feel good. And somebody else who eats that way, it is not a moral judgment. A lot of people put a morality on diets. So let me just say that I do not put a morality on it. But I do put a morality on is the politically, motivated things like the government my plate. Good morning, Tammy. And I know, and you know what? I feel like they have pushed this agenda on us for so long, and the science doesn't back it up. I know there's some people who will say that it does, and then there's going to be people who say no, it doesn't. And going back to, anyway, I don't want to argue points, David. I appreciate you. I appreciate, your opinion. And I appreciate you wanting to help someone be healthy in the way that you understand health. I appreciate you for that. You obviously you care about people. Omnivorous, yes we are. And I was just watching a podcast where they're talking about the oh, there's a more appropriate word for them, but I'm going to call them Eskimos because I'm not that well educated on the subject, that even though, they did have, the moderate protein with a really high fat, ratio, there was some plant-based consumption there. That evidence shows there, these indigenous people, is that what we need to call some of these tribes? I don't want to be offensive, but apparently, even though these groups of people ate moderate protein with a really high fat content, they were not 100%, meat only. That there was some plant content. It was very low, but it was there. So I am not, I am of the opinion that for right now, and Inuits, I think, and I think it's spelled a little differently, but yeah, hi Samantha. So, but it's kind of like I was reading in the Atkins book years ago, like one of the earliest. I agree with the Atkins 1972 version. He was talking about how when your body is out of balance one way, the correction is to go the absolute opposite, and then come back to zero, come back to the moderation in the middle. And the degrees of that, people will do that to their own degrees. Oh, we get lots of vitamin C, actually, especially from like organ meats, David. Oh my goodness, I'm hearing on these podcasts how much vitamin C we are actually getting. We're not getting scurvy. Hi, Trudy. Hello, Sandy. I'm doing okay this morning. I think that my the way I'm eating now is helping me with my mood. It has really helped me because I know that when I'm eating too many carbs. Good morning, Dolly. Good morning. When I'm eating a bunch of carbs, on my diet, and here's what I would do. I would be on plan one day, and then the next day I would get lazy, and good morning, Denny, and then I would just go buy, a sandwich or something, at the truck stop. That they have that Big Dipper sandwich, which is basically their version of a French dip. And I love that. I absolutely love that. But boy, that yo-yo and that back and forth with those, not good carbs and all of that. My mood is just not good. So now that I've been stabilized since like what? May 9th, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So today's day 5 of being, consistent and staying on plan. My mood is better. We all know that I'm depressed. I am depressed at the loss of Dooley. He was my companion through, I like to think that, we held each other through several different lifetimes in the 12 and a half years that he was with me. So that loss is still horribly, I do too, David. And this guy, I know my husband would reach out of the grave and slap me. But I'm sorry, Wayne, but Dooley was the true love of my life. I loved my husband, I did. I still love him to this day. But Dooley, sorry, Wayne, but Dooley's love, our relationship was so uncomplicated. I think my husband would totally understand that because he was actually a professional dog handler. He was a bomb dog handler, not only in the service as an MP, but also as a contractor after that. So I think, you know, he would truly get that. He would sure give me a bad time about it, though. Oh boy, would I hear about that. Yeah, it's unconditional, and I'm still, even right now, I'm very close to tears. Good morning, Kim. You know, I am depressed, but, you know, I do see to where I'll be more stable in my emotions, especially, you know, keeping the carbohydrates out of my diet for the moment, you know. I am definitely not vitamin C deficient. The next time I'm at the doctor, you know, I'll have my blood work done. We will have some numbers run. We will check, you know, my nutrient levels. And every time I've done that, it's, you know, my blood pressure, everything has been so perfect when I've ate like this. The problem is getting over you know what, David, and as long as you feel good and as long as you're happy, you know, keep eating like that. You know, you feel good, you don't have any kind of inflammation or teeth or, you know, protein problems. You know, keep doing it, right? Just do what you gotta do. Oh, Sandy, and you know, yes you do. You know exactly what that's like. So this is very mood stabilizing for me. For those of you who have followed ketogenic diets, you'll be happy to hear I am turning that stick, I mean, dark. And here it is, you know, first thing in the morning I checked. Yeah, depression is not good. And this, one thing about this way of eating is it always helps me with my mood. Are you guys getting rain down there? So anyway, I'm munching on a flame broiled burger patty with some melted cheese on it and salt. That's another thing that surprises people is how much salt, you know, we do. We make sure we get enough electrolytes. And I do love the taste of these, you know, the Burger King large patties. They have a very good flavor. I would hate to go online and find out what the carb count is, because I would hate to find out that they're like adding sugar or something into these patties. You know that Wendy's, I believe they're the ones that claim 100% ground beef. Do they still claim that? You know, I haven't, I turn a blind eye to advertising. So good weather for Sandy down there. Right now, not a cloud in the sky. There's a little bit of haze from a couple of fires. No, I am in California. If I turned around, if I went to Huey and turned around on this Highway 58, I would end up in Barstow. But going forward, heading west, I will end up in Bakersfield, and then I'm going to go up the 99 and cut across. Beautiful blue skies. Just a little bit of smoke haze because there are fires in the state. New Mexico's got some of the biggest in the country right now that they're battling. You been to Bakersfield? Well, Kim, I filled up with Fuel and Death in Ontario, California yesterday. So everything is good. 3/4 of a tank of fuel, full tank of death. And the next fuel stop will be up in Patterson, and that is 200 and I think that says 82 miles away. Upland. which is near Ontario. That's right. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, good morning. You guys have like detrimental rain when you guys get rainfall, you know, from what I hear. Even cold, this meat patty, it has such great flavor, that charred flavor. I should get to know what exactly is in all these meats from fast food, because there are going to be times that I'm poorly prepared while I'm on the truck as far as my eating plan. And I'm going to need to go get some, you know, hamburger patties from some of these fast food places. So I should really bone up on what, if anything else, is in their hamburgers. I do have to be careful of that skinny syrup in my coffee. And I'm only doing a half a scoop of the MCT powder because there is some carb content in there. But I gotta tell you guys, so my little 5-cup Mr. Coffee that I have here on the truck has a brew later function. And my alarm goes off at 5 a.m. But I have that set to start brewing at 4:45. And like this morning, you know, when I heard that thing brewing, my throat has been so dry. My throat has been so dry, and it's why my voice isn't back yet. Especially when I sleep. Not really much as a snack. I've got some plain pork rinds in here that I can munch on, because I do have a bad relationship with food, and I constantly feel like I have to be munching on something. That drive and that desire, the more days I'm on this plan, that is kind of lessening. It's not as prevalent as it has been while I was yo-yo stuff, you know, while I was eating all those carbs. But I do have plain pork rinds. They're not perfect, but there are some carnivore snacks that I believe I'm going to order to help me through those times, because pork rinds really, you know, unless you get them fresh, you know, like, you know, someone, you know, a company or a local place or something that, you know, makes them fresh, I believe that that's still processed food. I believe they put stuff in there, and I got to be careful of those. Oh, David, I bet those were amazing. Amazing. You know, there are a lot of fat bombs out there that are considered, you know, really good keto. Not all of them would be conducive to this version of that. And good morning, Connie. I'm doing good. You better get to bed. Nighty night, Sandy. There's Connie, everybody, from Just Another Stitch, running a really great Just Because collaboration giveaway. She does a lot of great stuff. No, Sarah, we were just having that conversation on this plan. I do not eat those. Anyway, fat bombs, appropriate fat bombs for this style of eating would be great snacks. Mostly in the beginning, like in the first month, when people start this, a lot of times they're not getting enough fat in. So, an appropriate kind of fat bomb would be great thing, like in the first when you first start this. So while there's so many people in here, I want to mention, some of you know Off Kilter Homestead, that's Haas and Hannah and their little boy Owen. And they do the Harvest Moon giveaway in the fall. They have a baby coming at the end of June. Hello, Diana. And their baby wish list on Amazon, that link is in the top of the description box. Now, I don't eat sweet potatoes, Sarah. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. I do not eat those. And I have to tell you guys, for those of you just coming in, like David was, he was concerned for me and suggested, you have to eat more than just meat. He was concerned because, the way I'm eating may not work for him. And I appreciate his, concern, but my food plan, if I need to correct some things going on in my body, Dr. Atkins explained it that, you're clear over on one side of the spectrum. You need to do the exact opposite to correct it. Correct things, like, body fat percentage or anything else that's going on in the body. Go to the other side, be extreme, and then come back to the middle. But there are people who have been eating this way, I'm learning. Supposedly, I'm listening to podcasts, and anybody can tout anything, at any time. If they're backing up, their opinions with research, that's great. And check out the research. And there's a couple of podcasts I watch that are backing up, their opinions with science, and a couple of them are actual MDs, scientists, specialized surgeons, and MDs that I'm listening to, and they are not stopping this way of eating, where they're going as close to zero in their carbohydrates as possible. And some of them have been doing this for decades, and their blood work, their numbers, all of that is just as perfect as they can get. And I know that in the past, when I have ate, on this plan, I have lost I did lose 140 pounds. And then I got lazy, and, I felt so good. I felt so wonderful. I looked great. My skin was, elastic. It had a lot of elasticity in it. Okay, Paula, get some sleep. Get some sleep. And I was just, life was just so fabulous. And then I got lazy, and then I started, I was driving truck. Driving truck is tough, you really have to plan, stay on top of things, especially with this poor eating, that I am prone to. So anyway, Sarah, I appreciate, wanting to help, but definitely no root vegetables, nothing with that much, carbohydrate content in it, and I'm staying as close to zero as my eating disorder will allow me. Let's just call it what it is, right? my addiction, my sugar addiction, sugar, flour, and starch. So those things I'm almost eliminating. Like I wouldn't say I'm at 100% because, like I said, those burger patties that I got last night have. I'm sure it's American cheese. I'm sure it's just cheap, processed cheese that they put on there. I'm still putting my sugar-free syrup, although I'm measuring now and trying to do less and less. The MCT powder, I'm only doing a half a scoop of that, trying to keep it low. So once again, for those who have come in, I just want to mention, I don't want to embarrass Haas and Hannah over at Off Kilter Homestead, but they're having a baby at the end of June. And wouldn't it be nice? It's not like they're in dire straits. They are great people. They take care of themselves. But wouldn't it be great if, a couple of us bought, one or two things on their baby wish list from Amazon? So that link to that, that's basically their baby registry, right? That link is in the description box for them. And I noticed, I think I noticed when I was looking at it, that on those items, it's like you can actually just donate money towards that item. You can just give them a cash gift. You can give them an Amazon gift card. All of those things. I am seriously thinking about doing something for them here next week on payday this coming week. So, because I just think they're wonderful people. They're not beggars. They don't get on and just start hinting that I made Haas and Hannah a baby blanket, one for Ian. Oh, Margie, I love that you did that. That's another thing. If anybody could whip up, a beautiful little swaddling blanket or baby blanket for their baby coming. I have no idea what the sex of the baby is. Maybe I should find that out. Maybe something in a neutral color, or like a green or a yellow or something. And you know what? It doesn't have to be. Even boys can have. They can have purple and all kinds of stuff. Is it a boy? Thank you, Margie. Okay. So it's a boy. Oh, they're just such wonderful people. And so anyway, like I said, I don't want to embarrass them by making a huge deal out of it. But wouldn't it be a blessing? I mean, I would love to bless them. So I have been poring over their list. Just like, oh, what do I want to do for them? Haas wanted a girl. That's funny. But you know what? He's going to love this little boy. Haas. His kids? Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine just him putting his arm around both his kids in that big Haas bear hug? Ugh. Such a good guy. And Hannah is so wonderful. I just love them. I know that they moved. I think it was last year. I sent them some products when they moved. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I just really enjoy them. They've been a little busy, baby coming, things going on in life, so they haven't uploaded a lot, but hopefully Haas will start doing that again, because I love seeing them. I don't care if it's, just the Harvest Moon giveaway or just, a baby update, just a conversation with, having a live, sitting on the couch. I just love seeing their faces come up, Wonderful people. Mojave, exit 1 mile. Boy, there's a lot of wind turbines up ahead, tons of them, and they are spinning, so there's some wind out there. It's a tailwind for me, but I am so heavy. This, good morning, Bree. This load is so heavy, I'm getting pushed along. Just go in the right direction. when I was saying that when I sit up in the morning, I cannot wait to get some hot coffee down my throat, because whatever is going on with my throat since I got sick at the end of March, it is not going away. It doesn't hurt, but it feels like I've got a lump in my throat, you know, like my vocal cords are coated, and I can't get past this thing. So when I sit up in the morning, I cannot wait to get some hot coffee down my throat. And I'm just finishing up. I probably got one more gulp out of this cup, and then I'm transferring over to water. And I need to check and see, like sometimes in the afternoon I'll drink one of those bottles of that Lipton black leaf tea, the sugar-free one. I do, but it's getting less and less now that I'm eating correctly. Now that I'm following this plan. Probably because I still have a little bit of a hernia, like at the top of my stomach. I forget what that's called. Had it repaired once, but of course, it's still there. I'll let this guy pass. He's having trouble passing. Oh, Rhoda's making noise. Yes, Denny, it's Off Kilter Homestead. And the link to their baby wish list is in the top of the description box down below. But, you know, it would be cool if somebody, you know, even just made them some swaddling stuff, baby blankets, you know, whatever. Little baby outfit for a boy. Wouldn't that be cool? Oh, yes. Thank you, Margie. Wouldn't that be cool? Give them some handmade items. And I would be careful of, you know, the fiber content. You know, I always worry about sending somebody something they're allergic to, you know. That's just my off-kit. Aren't they sweet, Denny? I love them. Love them. So it's Saturday the 14th. My husband's birthday is coming up. 12 days. Hi, Trudy. Okay, bye. Oh my goodness. Boys going on at the end of June. I do a spelling so I know if it's bad. I will feel like there's something in my throat. I am so happy. 100% acrylic. Nice. Yeah, I do too, Denny, because, you know, they got great personalities. I like Joy Blessed Life and Roy and Becky's Under the Awning. Well, that's an RV channel. Good morning. Good morning, Robert. Oversized gas tank to Waxahachie, Texas is next. Nice, Robert. Good morning, brother trucker. That's Robert, everybody. Dooley and I stopped in Little America one day to just wave and say hi at him because I knew he was going to be there. Dooley told him the whole story. Dooley was like very vocal, telling Robert his whole life story as a trucker. He's like, Robert, I'm a trucker too, and this is where we go, and blah 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 blah. Robert got the whole story from Dooley. Still ain't found a quilt for the truck. You know what? Robert needs a good crocheted Afghan in a almost maybe just short of a twin size for his bunk in the truck. Oh, thank you, Robert. Yeah, when Dooley met Robert, he had a lot to say to him. He's like, brother trucker, this is where we go, and this is what we haul, and blah, 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 and we're truckers too. Frog Hill Farm, they are nice homestead. You know, I'll have to check them out, Bree. Thank you for mentioning them. Have to check them out. But yeah, Hoss and Hannah, their link is in the top of the description box there. They are having a baby in June. I so love that. Owen's going to have a little brother. So Robert, I'm on the 58 going through Mojave. Good old Dooley. Yeah, headed towards Bakersfield. Then I'm going to go up to Patterson for fuel. The wind turbines are spinning today, but I'm good. I'm 78,000 pounds. I'm pushing my weight on my drives, but I got my tandems back to the California line to get them legal. It was quite a deal last night at 7 o'clock there at that junction where the 395 comes into the 58 at that little junction where there's a pilot. Yeah, it was quite a deal to just move one hole at a time on the tandems to try to get this thing balanced. So let's just say I'm fat going down the road. Oh, really? Oh, okay, with your new company? Yeah. Well, as long as you get the miles, enjoy your job. I'm glad you're back on a truck. Are you still on the loaner, or what's the status of that? I know that you were sitting in a hotel room for quite a few days. And bless you too, Robert. Oh, the mountains are sure pretty out here. I do like that. But I miss going to Texas. I miss, what my favorite run is? Fort Worth to Denver, and Denver to Fort Worth. I don't know why, but I love those little towns, and I love that part of Colorado. I do not like the Oklahoma Panhandle. They can keep it. Still in a loaner truck, still on phone. I'm so sorry. My granddaughter got me hooked on the homesteading channel. She introduced me to Arms Family Homestead. Oh wow, I'll have to check them out too. Have to check them out too. So I'm doing total carnivore now, Robert, because I need to correct. You don't like hooker? What? Yeah, I don't like the Oklahoma Panhandle. I don't like Boise City, Oklahoma, because I think that's entrapment, what they got going on there. I've warned a lot of truckers, and they're like, yeah, whatever, and then they go through there the first time, and I don't know how, well, at least Kenny, he called me back. He said, you know what, you were right, they were waiting, and I barely saw the sign, and I barely saw the exit to go over to that scale, to that weigh station. That is a trap. They're making money for the county, is what they're doing. But at 9 a.m. Pacific this morning, you guys, it looks like they found Ralph Davis Brown, who's been missing for over a year in the Pacific Northwest, over at Adventures with Purpose channel. So I hope that we can do a Wanderlust raid on their live when they go live. Oh, we might have some buffer zones going through this, going over this little mountain range. Just so you guys know, I might lose you, or we might just buffer for several seconds. We'll see what happens. So, is it true that all things I hear about the truckers quit because of broken trucks that take months to fix and diesel prices? I don't know of anybody who has quit. I don't stay up on the industry news very much. Robert might be hearing more about that. I know that, as a company driver, not concerned about diesel prices. There's plenty of loads. I'm sure these companies compensate for the diesel prices by upping their rates. Some of them are true, but it's how the trucker has their attitude. Right, we have to up our rates. If that's what it costs to ship something, that's what it costs to ship. As far as commerce goes, everybody's raising, the price of their freight, their shipping rates because, diesel's up. So you got to compensate for that. So, I'm sure especially owner-operators, I'm sure they're very affected by that. But I'm not an owner-operator. I'm a paid monkey, and it makes things easy for me, especially with this company. Things are pretty easy. I actually had to work and do my job last night, trying to get this thing balanced before I finally got parked, and I was tired. But, I just did my best to stay positive about it. Okay, one more pinhole on the tandems to get this thing, and I was real borderline on my drives. Scales closed. Yes, ma'am. Compensation is not perfect, but it makes up for 80. Oh, good, I got a green light. To 100%, depending on the contract for each load. Yeah, see, things, we adapt. We can be grown-ups and adapt, right? Yes, I am between Barstow. I'm about halfway between Barstow and Bakersfield. Yeah, Sarah, so, everything, prices are going up, and I hear a lot of theories about why diesel prices went up. I'm a conspiracy theorist at times, but I don't have any proof of anything, so the truck's warranty is what is taking so long. Oh my goodness. So that makes sense because you've got to deal with a warranty. I've been in the middle of that before in one of my jobs, warranty repairs. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, in Bakersfield, if we're still live when I go through there, depending on whether or not I lose you guys here in a few minutes, in Bakersfield is our lovely yarn hag Ryan, and so we'll be waving at her. Would somebody drop the link for the Adventures with Purpose channel, so that at 9 o'clock, if we're still live at 9 o'clock, I would really love for us to go over there at 9 o'clock Pacific time. I have a lot of conspiracy theories, Sarah, but it's kind of, there are things that I agree with, but I don't have the proof of someone off to walk 2 miles and do laundry state. Okay, Robert, good for you. Get those steps in. Way to go. I'm impressed. Have a great day, Robert. Be safe. Talk to you next time. Just so you guys know, Robert goes live every morning on Facebook. Just about every morning. And it's not beyond our technology. It's beyond the realm of, possibility. Thank you, Denny. Thank you, Denny. Yeah, Adventures with Purpose. They're an underwater search team. They're divers, right? And they started doing dives. People were asking them, hey, would you check out this body of water? Okay, Laura Lee, this body of water, and see if there's a car down there with, someone who's missing. Well, they found Ralph Davis Brown, and it's very sad. I'm curious to know which body of water is he in the Willamette River? Is he in some of those lakes or ponds around the Newburgh area? Thank you, Denny. Thank you. So everybody take note of that. I believe they said they're going live, and my notification said 9 a.m. Pacific. Oh, good morning, Pat. I'm doing good. Yes, I'm depressed. Yes, I'm grieving. I do know that I will come out the other end. So that keeps me positive through all this sadness. Okay, last gulp of coffee. And all the coffee grounds that go with that. Oh, good. I'm glad you've been watching them, Denny. So, Denny, you're on the East Coast. Maybe you could look and see what time on the East Coast they're going live. Yes, I absolutely appreciate that. You know, speaking of the Northwest, a couple of winters ago, I think it was, a man was heading home from work to his family, and he was crossing the Columbia River from Washington State into Oregon State to go home. And the snow plows had, you know, piled up the snow along the shoulder there on the big 205 bridge, and he apparently lost control. There was probably ice or a slick spot right there, and that pile of snow on the shoulder acted like a ramp, and his car went up that snowbank, up over the edge of the bridge and into the water. And Adventures with Purpose found them before Multnomah County found it. But Multnomah County needed to do the find, you know, because they were getting a lot of bad, you know, lashback because they hadn't found it yet. And so Adventures with Purpose, they're like, here it is, you know, we can, here's, and they pinpointed the spot. Okay. Here we go. On to the water. Okay, put this away. On to drinking water. My throat just feels so dry and like I've got a lump in my throat, and I don't know what to do about it. And the reason why I'm not doing 6-8 hour lives right now, and most days not doing them at all, is because doing too much talking isn't good for, like, I'll lose it again. I'm constantly clearing my throat, constantly trying to cough to clear it, and it's yeah, since March 23rd was a very fateful day. It was a very awful day for me, but and I have lost my voice since then. Of course, I was sick. I got sick and had a fever the day before, but I slept, you know, a lot that, you know, the afternoon and evening and night before, and then I woke up the next morning and really wouldn't eat. So that was the day that I said goodbye to him, and I haven't had a voice since. Ugh. But I was sick too, so, and for some reason, this, you know, month and a half long remnant is this, you know, this voice problem, this throat problem. I'm not sure what to do about it, but maybe I'll have to go see the doctor. We'll see. Now, there's some turbines facing the other direction, and they're not many of them are turning. It's funny when some, you know, a lot of them look like they're not turning at all, and then you look at them again and they're in a different position. They're moving slowly. I think those are ones that need repairs or something. So according to these wind turbines, I'm probably going to have a headwind through this valley. So again, you guys, at 9 a.m. Pacific, I'd like to do a Wanderlust raid over at Adventures with Purpose, because apparently the notification says 2 p.m. for, okay, so that's Eastern time, right? Okay, so 2 1, 12, 11. So that's 11 a.m. my time. I should see what it shows at my time. I had like a 9 a.m. notification, but I may have read that wrong. So if it's 2 p.m. Eastern, then it's 1, 12, 11 Pacific. Let's see. Adventures with Purpose. A lot of cattle out here. There's a factory over on the right. It's probably, I wonder what kind that is. I don't know if that's, I see big piles of gravel. So some kind of mining, I think, going on over there to the right. And those hills. And a lot of pasture, a lot of cattle out here. Looks like commercial beef because they're out there grazing. Black Angus. Black Angus is the number one commercial beef. I believe sometimes they cross them with Charolais because Charolais is so big and they put on more weight. Charolais are the white ones. It's 12 p.m. Eastern here. 12, 11, 10, 9. Okay. Because right now it's 7:30 Pacific time right now. 7:25. Breaking news. Okay, so I keep saying 9 a.m. But it's actually 11 a.m. Pacific. So you're right. I read that wrong. Ralph Davis Brown found. Oh, that is just so sad. Oops. Let's turn that off. Babysitter noise. My truck is a drama queen. A lump in your throat probably connected with your grief and delay. Pray it will pass some time. Thank you, Pat. I don't know if it's connected with that or, I know I was sick at the time. I had a fever and was feeling kind of down. But that quickly passed, and, after I, like within a day or so, but my voice is never coming back. So probably has something to do with grief. And maybe there's something my doctor can do about it, because I feel like a lot of people have lost their voice recently, but everybody I know who has, they got it back, and mine has not come back. And it constantly feels like super dry. And I cannot drink enough water. Constantly drinking water. So when I get to Patterson, I'm going to need to buy more water. Yes, thank you for your prayers, you guys. I would really, really like to get my voice back. I love to sing. Especially, I belong to a congregation of, that we all sing. There's no choir. Everybody sings. And it's really hard to do that now. Tehachapi. I don't know if I say that correctly. Here's a sign. Tehachapi. Tehachapi. Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure the locals are laughing at me. Tehachapi. I wonder if that's right. Tehachapi. It's the deep down unresolved grief that causes a problem. Maybe. I miss him so much. I miss those eyes. Oh my goodness, those eyes. When a dog will stare you in the eye with that, large, dilated pupil look with those eyelids, that's supposed to be an indication of love. I'm miss that. Oh my goodness. He would come up from the back just to, look at me. He would just stand right here to my right, and he would look at me with those eyes. And oh, whew. Yep. Yep. I miss him talking to me and communicating with me, and his cuddles, even his annoying grooming that he did for the last year. Every time I got, into my pajamas and sat in the bunk, my ankles and, my calves, my shins would get groomed. And, and I would let him do it because I knew he was grooming me out of love. It was a love gesture. It was all about, our little pack, but then after 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, baby. And I'd rub him and move my legs. It's like, honey buns, let's stop now. I'm doing my best, to grieve and feel that pain. Not try to deny it so that I can get through it. I just don't want it to become chronic. A chronic depression. Doing my best. Lots of prayer. Yeah, just give me a second. Okay. Whew. It's so hard. So, yeah, again, I want to do a Wanderlust raid over at Adventures with Purpose at 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 12:12. Like Danny was saying, that's 2 p.m. Eastern. To learn that I used to be a grief stuffer. Yeah. I don't want to stuff it because I want to get through it. I'll never get over it, but I want to get through it. And I have lost my furry companions in the past, and I grieved for a long time over them, but usually within a week, it felt more manageable. It felt like, yes, I'm sad, but, I can go on and I can still, maybe it was, maybe part of that was because I still had other pets. I realized Dooley was super special. Like, as much as I loved all my past pets, Dooley was, as far as pets go, the love of my life. There is no doubt. In my pet relationships, Dooley was the love of my life. And believe me, I loved my other pets pretty fiercely. Yeah, 2/1/12/11. So yes, that's 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and everything in between. Ooh, it's getting warm. I need a little air. There we go. That feels better. I don't want to be a sweaty, greasy truck driver. I had to really bathe when I got done last night because I had to work so hard to get this load balanced in the evening when it was, 90 plus degrees. Take it easy going down the hill here. No need to get in a hurry with this load. But I tell you what, switching back to an even stricter version of the Atkins diet that a lot of people are doing now, switching to that, 5 days ago, I believe has really helped my mood. I still feel the pain, I still feel the grief, but I'm not so out of sorts. My body feels better, except for my throat, of course. That has really helped. So that is why I'm snacking on these hamburger patties today, because I didn't plan well enough. Hello, Chris. Because I didn't really plan well enough. Howdy, howdy, hooty doo. I hope you're feeling better, Chris. So anyway, I didn't plan well enough yesterday to keep the right kind of foods in front of me. So I ended up going over. Now, I do need to research if, these Whopper patties are actually 100% beef, or if they have put additives in them. That's something I need to research. Plus, I had them, put their processed cheese on each of the patties. But I tell you what, it really helped me through. I didn't do a real intermittent fast at all yesterday, but that's fine. I think I'm fine. And these patties are so tasty that, what do they call that? Flame broiled? The flavor of these patties is they're so good with that char flavor. But yeah, I need to research for future days of emergency hamburger patties that, who actually is using just 100% beef and who is adding, something to their hamburger patties. I believe I heard somewhere, this is total hearsay, that there is sugar injected in the McDonald's hamburger patties, but I don't quote me on that. If you're concerned about that kind of thing, go see if you can, find out if that's true, if that's something that you would worry about in your life. I need to look that up. It seems like Wendy's said at one time that they were 100% beef. Who knows if that is still true? I'll see if I can find some information on that at some point. But these big Whopper patties with some cheese on them and some salt is really hitting the spot. And boy, has my mood improved since I started this 5 days ago. Woo-wee! And the other thing I'm mentioning today several times is our friends at Off Kilter Homestead, Haas, Hannah, and Owen are having a baby at the end of June, and the link to their baby list, basically the, baby registry is in the top of the description box. And just so you guys know, these people are not e-beggars. Well, I tell you what, Danny, their food is good. Oh, good, Kim. That's a Burger King? Good. Okay. Go out for that poop walk, Pat. I miss taking Dooley for poop walks. Yeah, so basically the baby wish list on Amazon. Oh, thank you, Kim. That is good to know. Very good to know. I'm sure the cheese is like American cheese, which is processed cheese, which isn't the greatest. I'm hoping it won't affect my insulin levels. Because I tell you what, I turned that keto stick dark this morning, and that's awesome for first thing in the morning. And that was after drinking my coffee with that, that skinny syrup. I'm sure, even though there's, theoretically no sugar in it, it can still affect your insulin levels, and that's. Oh, I love the salt. I have salted in on this food plan. We have to salt a lot of our food. In fact, I'm going to be ordering, I think it's called Redmond's or Raymond's. Redmond's salt or Raymond's salt. That is like pure. It's like the purest salt you can find. So I'll be ordering that. For now, I'm using, Morton's. We have to eat a lot of salt on this and eat a lot of fat. I know it's just the opposite of what we've been told for so many years, but people should eat what makes them, physically feel good. I have to be careful of anything that looks like comfort food because, yeah, it may be comforting, but it's also addicting to me. And some people can do keto, like the keto version of the Atkins diet, and have a pretty high carb count, like 50 grams a day, or some people can even lose weight on 100 grams a day. I cannot. There are many people who cannot. Oh, the classic cars! Look at them! Oh my goodness! Those are so cool. I love classic cars. There must be a car show somewhere today. It is Saturday in California, so yeah. Pretty sure there's a car show somewhere. Yeah, I have to eat a lot of salt on this. And some people even add an electrolyte additive to their water. Yeah. Oh, I miss making my own. I used to make a homemade wheat bread, and the recipe came from Hillbilly Housewife, and I loved it. My husband and I loved it. Of course, I can't eat that way now, which is too bad because cooking recipes off the Hillbilly Housewife website, that was comforting. That just made me feel good emotionally because I'm addicted to carbs, and it's a true addiction, like a drug addiction. So, I have to counteract that because those foods, will spike insulin and cause weight gain. So, for me, oh, David, that Hillbilly Housewife whole wheat bread recipe, I mean, seriously, no bread maker. I just made it in the loaf pan in the oven. She was great. I loved her. And look at me. I can talk about bread while I'm stuffing my face with a hamburger patty, and I feel okay. I feel emotionally stable when it comes to food. Where other times it's like, before I got back on plan, yeah, of course I don't have a lot of time when I'm home. I'm home for, I basically have 4 days at the end of the month, beginning of the next month, when I'm home. do that kind of stuff, and I have to squeeze a lot of activity into that day. Plus crochet. Plus do all my crochet projects, and when my lovely Sandra kind of comes up with a honey-do list for me, excuse me, makes it tough. I haven't even gotten to play. I mean, I'm dying to play with my new food sealer that Wanda got me. Excuse me, I got the hiccups because I shoved that in my mouth too fast. Okay, yeah, and I want to play with that food sealer. Oh my goodness. I haven't had a chance. I'm like, every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, Wanda, I want to play with that thing. Get some food sealed up, but you know, it's tough to put, you know, all my, thank you. It's tough to squeeze like a whole lifetime, you know, a whole month of, you know, to-dos into 4 days. If somebody would just win some Mega Millions and send me a small portion of it, I could retire and just spend my life, you know, traveling around in the R bus. Wouldn't that be great? But I try not to let my mind go there, because I'm a worker. I'm a truck driver. I can earn a living, so I will. Oh yeah, so my focus is not losing weight fast. So that's why we started the hashtag 50 Gone by 2024, because if I could lose, you know, 50 pounds in 2 years, because I did not like where my weight was in January when I had to get, you know, renew my medical card for driving truck, then it's more about redeveloping the right habits and the eating way of life, you know, get back to what works for me, and you know, get back in the right habits, the right mindset, you know, the right chemical balances, the right hormone levels. What is that? That is huge. Oh, it's just a cow. Oh, I was in the shadow. I'm like, is that a moose on the other side of that hill? No, it was just a cow. But of course I'm obsessed with food. My mom's obsessed with weight, and that, you know, when she starts talking about that, it's very damaging to me emotionally. I'm not equipped to handle that. But I am obsessed with weight, and you know, she hasn't heard all the research and the scientific studies that back up the way I'm eating. So I get a lot of criticism from her, and it's meant out of concern, right? It is meant out of concern, but I can't have those anymore, Kim. They stall me because of the insulin reaction to them, so I can't do that. Yeah, so, you know, my mom doesn't understand that what I'm doing is good, and I need encouragement and praise for that rather than correction, which I know she does out of love. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that my mom loves me, but because she, you know, we haven't heard the, you know, she has heard the same information we've all heard for, you know, since the 60s about having to do a calorie deficit in order to lose weight, fruits and grains, and no, you know, keep it low fat, and you know, we were told that for so long, and it all started with one bad research, you know, one study that, you know, come to find out, you know, even the lady who did the research, who did the study, you know, went back and looked at it and found out that there were flaws in it. Hello, Petra. So she found out that this whole low-fat thing, the study she did way back when, decades ago, that she found out her study was flawed. And by the time she came out and said, look, this is not good science, here's what happened, the whole low-fat myth had been perpetuated and the whole low-fat industry had begun. There was too much money involved in it, and the government was on board, because if you remove the fat, you know what you're going to add? Flour and sugar. Those are some really big, that's a big market in our country and a huge export. So they pretty much tarred and feathered that lady. She's gone. You know, she was out of the scientific community because, you know, she came out and publicly said, hey, here are the flaws in my research. Because she's a true scientist, right? So yeah, the whole calorie deficit theory and the whole low-fat theory, all of that has been debunked through science. But because there's such a huge industry, you know, leaning the other way, we have been fed some bad information for decades. Gary Taubes, he's pretty rough in the way he treats people on Twitter. You know, just because you disagree doesn't mean we have to be rude. You know, people get evangelic. The word Petra. Anyway, they evangelize their, you know, health and nutrition, and to the point where, you know, we start putting people down who don't agree with us. That's